Dan Ariely, Dollars and Cents, How We Misthink Money and How to Spend Smarter. In Dollars and Cents, How We Misthink Money and How to Spend Smarter, Dan Ariely explores the psychological aspects of money management and how it impacts our lives. The book's summary explains how our irrational decisions, emotional attachments, and mental shortcuts can lead to poor spending decisions. Additionally, it touches upon the importance of self-control and goal-oriented thinking in order to improve our financial mindset. By diving into this summary, you'll discover the common mistakes people make while handling finances and learn valuable insights into how we can make better, more mindful decisions with our money.
Unraveling irrational spending. Money, although an abstract concept, is essential for almost everything we do. Despite knowing its importance, people often make poor decisions when it comes to spending. One reason behind this behavior is our failure to consider opportunity costs, or alternative ways to spend the money. Instead of naturally weighing one purchase against another, most of us don't realize what we sacrifice when making financial choices. The second reason is our reliance on value cues, external signs indicating an item's worth. Rather than acting rationally and determining an item's value through opportunity costs, we succumb to deceptive cues that manipulate our sense of an item's true value, ultimately causing irrational spending. Money's abstract nature is at the core of its usage. However valuable it may be today, its worth can change significantly by tomorrow. Yet, despite its fluctuating value, money is essential to our lives, helping us navigate our day-to-day expenses. Interestingly, people tend to make irrational spending decisions instead of carefully considering money's importance. One reason for this lies in our inability to weigh opportunity costs. When faced with a purchase, we rarely pause to think about the potential alternatives for spending that money. This lack of consideration leads to financial mistakes that impact our overall well-being. Another reason is our reliance on value cues, external indicators hinting at an item's true worth. Ideally, we should gauge a product's value through its opportunity costs by comparing it to other possible purchases. However, we often take the less rational path, relying on value cues and falling for persuasive language indicating a great deal or a limited time offer. These cues manipulate our perception of value, leading to irrational spending decisions. Although some value cues offer helpful information, many are misleading because companies employ deceptive strategies to influence our value judgments. To make more rational spending choices, we should focus on calculating opportunity costs and critically examining value cues presented to us. Deceptive value cues. Every day, we are surrounded by various items, but their actual value isn't always easy to determine. We frequently use mental shortcuts like comparing similar items to make decisions. Unfortunately, this can lead to deception, as exemplified by the JCPenney story or our own appetites being manipulated by external cues. These deceptive cues impact our decision-making abilities and alter our perceptions of value. As we go about our daily routines, surrounded by an array of items, it can be quite the challenge to determine their true value. For instance, considering a pair of shoes, we'd have to weigh factors like the cost of materials, labor, shipping, and more to truly assess their worth. Often, we resort to mental shortcuts such as comparing items or prices to other similar things. Although comparison shopping allows us to find the relative value of similar items, it can easily lead us astray. Take the example of JCPenney in 2012. Back then, the company would increase the regular prices of items only to offer coupons and discounts, bringing them back to their actual retail value. This tactic misled customers into believing they were getting a special bargain. When the new CEO changed the pricing strategy to be more transparent, JCPenney faced massive losses and customer dissatisfaction, because the customers missed the illusion of receiving a good deal. Interestingly, it's not just companies that deceive us. Sometimes, we fool ourselves as well. In his book, Mindless Eating, Brian Misthink conducted an experiment, adding more soup to people's bowls without them realizing it. He found that some participants would continue eating until the bowl was empty, regardless of whether they were still hungry or not. Evidently, certain cues like an empty bowl significantly influenced their decision-making. In conclusion, deceptive value cues pervade in our visual environment and play a crucial role in shaping our perceptions and decisions. By recognizing these cues and understanding their impact on our decision-making, we may be able to make better informed choices and avoid being misled by deceptive tactics. Mental accounting simplified. Imagine losing a $100 concert ticket or a $100 bill on your way to buy it. Would you still spend money to attend? Mental accounting makes individuals value situations differently, weighing subjective variables in deciding how to spend their money. While it can be irrational, mental accounting is helpful in simplifying everyday decisions and saving time. Emotions, however, can negatively affect monetary choices when they interfere with a person's accounting, leading them to act frivolously or irrationally. Devising captivating, what-if scenarios can make us rethink our perceptions of money and value. Picture yourself losing a $100 concert ticket on the way to the event. Would you purchase a new one for the same price? Now, envision the situation where you lose a $100 bill before buying the ticket. Would you still attend the concert by spending another $100? These decisions are influenced by mental accounting, a process individuals use to categorize and evaluate their spending. Each person's mental accounting differs, as unique categories and subjective values come into play. You might perceive a $100 concert ticket differently than an unspent $100 bill. While the money allocated for the ticket may feel like it's already been spent, the unassigned bill feels more available for making new purchases. This explains why most people are hesitant to buy a new ticket yet might take out more money if they haven't bought one yet. Even though mental accounting can be irrational, it serves a meaningful purpose. A logical mind should treat both scenarios equally, but mental accounting proves to be a time-saving mechanism in a world filled with countless spending options. For a simple example, someone purchasing a cup of coffee doesn't need to consider every alternative use for their money. Instead, they rely on mental accounting and allocate the funds from their coffee account to streamline the decision-making process. Emotional accounting, another form of mental accounting, can create pitfalls in financial decision-making. Ascribing emotions to money can heavily impact spending choices. For instance, if money was received from a disliked relative, the urge to eliminate negative feelings might lead to donating part of the funds to charity and frivolously spending the remainder to feel better. To avoid these emotional pitfalls, it's crucial to separate emotions from financial decisions and consider saving the extra cash instead. The power of language and rituals. The language we use daily has a significant impact on our perceptions and experiences, often shaping our consumption habits and willingness to pay for products. Particular words can make products seem more valuable by triggering our senses and creating a sense of luxury or craftsmanship. Likewise, the rituals that come with certain products or experiences can enhance their perceived value. It's crucial to recognize the influence of language and rituals so we don't fall into the trap of overpaying for everyday items or experiences. Feeding a toddler can be a challenging experience, but it is far more manageable when language helps persuade them to eat their mushy carrots by making them think of an airplane about to land. Our perceptions and experiences about the world around us are greatly influenced by language. To illustrate this point, consider how the idea of living off 20% less of your current salary feels in comparison to living off 80% of your salary. Although the outcome is the same, a study conducted in 1988 showed that people are more resistant to the first scenario. The restaurant industry expertly employs language to make their offerings seem more exclusive and valuable. For instance, when a waiter describes wine using words like complex and earthy notes of oak and tobacco, customers are more likely to shell out $80 for a bottle they might not buy at a supermarket for $30. Such consumption vocabulary connects our minds with a product's enhanced worth, such as the bouquet of wine or the sashing of a quilt. Words like artisan also evoke a sense of elevated craft, but it doesn't necessarily guarantee superior quality. In addition to language, the rituals surrounding a product or experience can bolster its perceived worth. The splendor of a glass of wine comes not only from its taste but also from the act of pouring, swirling, smelling, and savoring it. Research supports this phenomenon. A study in 2013 found that participants who engaged in a ritualized process of unwrapping and breaking a chocolate bar before eating it were willing to pay more for it than those who ate it quickly. Being aware of the role that language and rituals play in shaping our perceptions and consumption can help us make more informed choices and resist persuasive marketing tactics. Boosting financial self-control. People are often irrational with money, succumbing to the temptation of short-term pleasures instead of focusing on long-term financial security. To increase self-control, emotionally connect with your future self by visualizing the benefits of making wiser financial decisions today. Set specific dates for financial goals, making them feel more immediate and concrete. Utilize Ulysses contracts, which remove the option of poor financial choices through structured processes, like automatic deposits or using prepaid debit cards, to ensure success in reaching your goals. One key to improving your financial decisions is by developing a stronger emotional connection with your future self. We often give in to short-term temptations because our future selves feel distant and remote. To overcome this, try engaging in mental exercises where you imagine conversations or write letters to your future self. Visualize how your responsible choices today will lead to future you enjoying a comfortable retirement or achieving other financial milestones. To make your financial goals feel more immediate, assign specific dates to them. Research from a 2005 study in management science suggests that setting exact retirement dates can make us more diligent in saving money. Instead of thinking about an event happening in 30 years, assign a precise date, such as August 23, 2048. Supplement your newfound connection to your future self by establishing Ulysses contracts, agreements that remove the possibility of bad decisions by implementing a predetermined structure or process. Drawing inspiration from the Greek hero Ulysses, who had his crew bind him to the ship's mast to resist the siren's deadly songs, create your own Ulysses contracts to avoid financial temptations. For example, if you struggle with credit card usage, switch to prepaid debit cards, or if you find it challenging to save money, set up an automatic deposit system that deducts a designated amount from your paycheck. According to a 2010 study in World Development, those who utilized automated savings increased their savings by 81% in just 1 year. With this newfound knowledge, discard excuses and embrace sensible financial choices for a better future.
To sum up, Dollars and Cents offers a fascinating insight into our complex relationship with money and delves into the psychological factors influencing our spending behavior. By understanding key concepts such as opportunity cost, value cues, mental accounting, and our consumption vocabulary, we can better navigate the financial landscape. Moreover, the book emphasizes the importance of self-control and forward thinking, providing practical suggestions such as connecting with our future selves and setting up Ulysses contracts. By applying these lessons, we can become more mindful of our financial decisions and ultimately attain a healthier, more rational attitude towards money.